Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Richmond Raceway. Yes, we're actually here now, finally, and we did the old switcheroo this week. We had the Cup Series at Texas, which that's where IndyCar was in real life earlier today. And we had IndyCar here at Richmond, which is where the Cup Series was in real life earlier today. We're going to have Richmond later on in the season for the Cup Series, so don't worry about that. But not returning to the Texas Motor Speedway in the Haas IndyCar Series this year, but we wanted to do a race at Richmond, so here we are. This is qualifying for tomorrow night's Virginia 100K here in the Haas IndyCar Series 2023 season. 83 laps tomorrow, and we got ourselves a new qualifying format here on the ovals. At least, hopefully, I'll be able to continue this for the ovals. We'll see how that ends up going, but it's single car qualifying. The only difference is everybody will be going out with somebody else. So we are going to have ourselves 13 groups, essentially, with 2 drivers in each group, and each driver gets 1 lap. So their first lap under speed is the lap that counts for qualifying. Of course, the graphics will all be just like it is for normal single car qualifying that we do here on the channel. But we do it twice as fast, getting both of the drivers out on the racetrack right away. The qualifying order, as always, is in the description, but it is currently showing in your screen, and it was determined by points, essentially, with the highest driver in points pairing up with the lowest driver in points and continuing further in to the point standings as we go along. So 13th and 14th in the point standings, Thomas Troxell and Bradley Bradshaw will lead us off first, and we'll keep on going up with drivers who are higher in the points and then lower in the points all the way to Chris Reynolds, who is the points leader, and then Zachary Fitzwater, who is last in points coming into this race in the last group. And it's that 1 lap that counts, and that'll determine the starting lineup here for the Virginia 100K from Richmond. So pretty straightforward and simple. I don't think I need to go into any other explanation. Of course, if you have any questions, hopefully I'm available to ask them for you, or answer them for you, I should say. I can't ask the question for you. You have to ask it yourself. That's how it works. But either way, excited to see how this all goes down. We'll go ahead and just jump right into it here from the Richmond Raceway for single car qualifying. Thomas Troxell and Bradley Bradshaw, the first drivers out. Let's see how they stack up here around this 0.75 mile racetrack. Shortest track on the schedule. And here we go with our first set of drivers. Of course, 2 drivers in each group. The reason why it's 2 drivers in each group and not, say, like 4 or 5 is so we avoid, hopefully, these drivers getting into each other or affecting each other's lap times. And like I said, it is a 1 lap for each of these drivers. So definitely going to be interesting to see how that ends up coming into play. But you'll see the graphics kind of pop up there. And then once the group is complete, once both drivers have completed their full lap under speed, then you will see the time pop up. So both drivers will pop up simultaneously when we move on to the next group. So it's not going to be as they cross the line, Only got so much time to do this. Thomas Troxell, Bradley Bradshaw, right in the middle of the points this season. We'll see how well they do here at the Richmond Raceway. Thomas Troxell going to be the first driver out there to complete a lap. And once he completes his lap, we'll then focus on Bradley Bradshaw and not focus on Thomas Troxell because the lap time will be different. He's starting his fast lap here in the 42 machine. I'm not really sure how it's going to end up playing out here in terms of the times, but they get around this place really quick, and minimizing at 1:29 into the corner across the line. Troxell goes to a 17.919. We'll put that time on the screen here, and hopefully he drives far enough away so that Bradley Bradshaw can get a clean lap in himself. And we will populate that time for Troxell once Bradley Bradshaw is done with his lap. So he is starting now in the 34 machine, 14 in points just behind Thomas Troxell. And of course, everybody will have the same weather settings as well. Coming off at turn number 4, we minimized at 1:27. This will probably be a little bit slower than Troxell's time across the line, 17.932. So Bradshaw second, Troxell fastest time so far here in Richmond qualifying. And here we go for our next set of drivers, Brad Stover and Jay Knapp. Drivers who are currently 12th and 15th in points, respectively. Knapp 15th in the points standings coming into this race. Be lying if I said that it's not been as bad for Knapp as it was last year, but still a lot of work to do for Knapp to possibly get his first career win. Of course, hopefully we'll have Micah in the booth once again for tomorrow night's race here at the Richmond Raceway. Going to be his first oval race in a while that he's done for us. Minimize at 121 there in the turn number 1. 67 degrees here tonight, clear skies, and a southwest wind at 13 miles per hour. Across the line, Knapp's going to go 7:18.003, so that's currently the slowest. We'll now wait for Brad Stover to clock his time in. So 18.003 there for Knapp. Now Brad Stover going to come out here and get his lap time underway. And the number 49, so had a pretty good season so far here for DM Motorsports. Had a good run at Circuit of the Americas, I do believe. Can't quite remember where he finished in that race. Obviously, I got so many different races going on, I can't ever keep track of it. Minimizes at 127 off the exit of turn number 3, and 17.859. Good enough for the fastest lap so far here in Virginia 100K qualifying. And here we go, John Stewart and Trey Smith. The next two drivers out, and they both got out right away. Here's John Stewart starting his fast lap, and then Trey Smith's going to come around and start his fast lap as well. So we're going to get these two knocked out one right after another. There's John Stewart and Trey Smith. They are, I believe, I can't remember where they are in points. I've already lost count. We're on the third group. Here we go for John Stewart, though. His fast lap going to go 17.806. That is good enough for the fastest time. Trey Smith coming back around here. He's going to go 17.538. That's a pretty solid time. So there is Stewart's time, 8:06, and then Trey Smith's time at a 5:38. And here we go for the next two drivers, Logan Williams and Eric Drew. Eric Drew had a great run at COTA last time out 2 weeks ago. Logan Williams 10th in points and 17th in points for Eric Drew, and they're both getting out there right away. We're going to get this knocked out pretty quick here tonight, guys. Logan Williams 121 there off the exit. I'm wondering if Eric Drew may actually get a pull here. Maybe the first driver to attempt this. Logan Williams here coming across the line. He minimized at 129. He's going to go 18.104, and Eric Drew's going to go 17.757. So you see those times there. 104 there for Logan Williams, and a 7.57 for Eric Drew. Alright, we're going to catch our breath here for just a second. Those past two groups, they went out in under a minute, and they were ready to go here. We got ourselves Nicolas Samudio and Christian Master here in group number 5. Of course, both of these drivers, the only two drivers running full-time this season, who have won the Haas IndyCar Series Championship in the past, so kind of fitting they're both in here. Nicolas Samudio 9th in points, Christian Master 18th in points coming into this race after 4 races. And Trey Smith currently holding on to the fastest time right now, 17.538. Now, the lap times here, this is, like I said, the shortest track on the circuit, and these are the fastest lap times that we're going to get across the entirety of the Haas IndyCar Series. So these guys are whipping out these laps really fast. Nicolas Samudio going to come out here in the 5 and get his lap underway here. So it's really hard for us to determine, kind of unlike California and Indianapolis, where, you know, there are technical parts on that track where we know exactly where they're losing time and where they're not. It's a lot harder to tell here because it's a 17-second lap. So Samudio out there, and Master's going to be right behind. We'll see how well this number 5 machine can do. Can he beat that 17.538 here? Of course, you guys are seeing the speeds as they run. Oh, and a bit of a dip there for Samudio as he comes across 17.904. That's good enough for 5th currently. Here comes Christian Master and his fast lap. About the same dip there in 3 and 4. He's going to go 17.860. So Samudio 904 and then Master 860. Here we go for our 6th group already, our 6th group here. We're going to get through this pretty quick. Tanner Partin and Caleb Rose. Great season for Tanner Partin. 8th in the points coming into this race. And Caleb Rose, who I'm sure is still reeling from the moment of all time at Circuit of the Americas 2 weeks ago when he wrecked John Andrews battling for the race victory over there. Caleb Rose still going for his first career win. As a matter of fact, both of these drivers, both Partin and Rose, going for their first career wins on the channel. So Trey Smith still holds that fastest time, 17.538, and we saw Master and Samudio be pretty close to each other right there at 17.860. Only 2 drivers have gone over 17 seconds. That's Jay Knapp and Logan Williams. Going to be interesting to see if any of these guys get the advantage, but Trey Smith there, kind of finally in his wheelhouse there, and of course, the pole winner does get a bonus point towards the championship, and of course in a strict points championship with only 16 races, we're already a quarter of the way through the season. Every point matters here in the Haas IndyCar Series, especially considering none of the races are double points. Of course, it's not like that in real-life IndyCar anymore either. However, once we do get to Indy 250 qualifying, it will be single car, like traditional single cars we always have done. The top 10 qualifiers for the Indianapolis 250 will receive championship points 10 down to 1. So a lot of points at stake for that single car qualifying session. Of course, that's a 2-day qualifying session. A little bit more involved than what we're doing here tonight for, what is it? A 100-kilometer race that we're going to do tomorrow compared to a 250-miler. Caleb Rose is going to be the first one out of these two. And I'm sure he would love to get a good lap here and kind of make up for what happened at Circuit of the Americas 2 weeks ago. We're just going to have to see what he can pull off here in the number 3 machine as he comes across the line. And Tanner Partin will be right behind him, so both of these drivers going to get their laps in, pretty much one right after another once again. Caleb Rose in the number 3. The one mark that I've kind of been noticing is the slowest time, or slowest speed, 1:29. That's a pretty high one there for Caleb Rose across the line. 17.926, that is good enough for the 7th position. Tanner Partin coming around here for his fast lap. And the 9.47 for Partin, which will be good for 10th. Let's go ahead and get on to the next group here at the Richmond Raceway. 7th group of the night. We've seen some pretty fast times so far. 17.538, still the fastest time, and considerably faster. Actually, 2/10 faster than the whole field right there for Trey Smith. Putting rockin' fuel in there in that number 79. I don't get it with my team, why they're so good. You know, I don't know. I'm not doing anything. Cole Raymond was very good 2 weeks ago at Circuit of the Americas. A very well-earned victory there in Firestone, Indy, Texas. And definitely watch out for him. Of course, he comes into this race 7th in the point standings. As a matter of fact, he went into that race 20th in the points and moved up to 7th with that race victory. That's how much a race win can do. And then Noah Clifton, who comes into this race, if I can see here correctly, 20th in the points standing. So a 17.538, the time to beat here. We'll see if Cole Raymond can, in fact, pull it off. Waiting for Noah Clifton to come off here. Looks like he'll wait, so that's going to give us a little time here on Cole Raymond, who's coming across the line to start his fast lap. 165 is a maximum into turn number 1. Minimizes at 125. Really haven't been able to measure what a good mile-per-hour range is. We do know 129. Has really not been able to tell, really, what these guys have been able to do. We just kind of go off of what they have. And a 17.854. That's good enough right now for 4th. Noah Clifton going to wait for him, as Raymond has completed his lap time at a 17.854. And just going to wait for Noah Clifton to get out there for his fast lap now. So Raymond is done. His time is set. And like I said, good enough for 4th place at the moment. You'll see that updated when Noah Clifton completes his lap time. An 8.54 there for Cole Raymond. We just wait for Noah Clifton here. It's not been a good season for Noah Clifton, unfortunately. DM Motorsports, they've found more of their success with Brad Stover so far this season. Noah Clifton has not been able to find as much success. Only one top 10 on the season so far. But a good qualifying effort could definitely change all that around here at Richmond. Hopefully, Cole Raymond may actually get in the way here. This could get a little interesting. And you know what? I think he'll be far enough ahead. So here we go for Noah Clifton in the number 94 machine. And he's going to start his fast lap right here. Going to maximize into turn 1, 166. Gonna minimize. This is the slower corner right here. At least it is for tonight. 124 is a minimum there. And every little aspect around this race course goes into that fast lap. A bit slow there as well. I think this is going to be one of the slower lap times we have seen so far. No Clifton 17.930. So not too bad there. Let's go on to the next group here and see how they all fare. Trey Smith still the fastest here at Richmond. Next group in line here, it is Landon Smith Jr. and Christian Vargas. Landon Smith Jr. 6th in the title race, actually doing a little bit better than his brother this year. Of course, Landon Smith Jr. was very strong last year as well, and Trey Smith, of course, the Indy 250 champion from last year, who is still currently the fastest driver here in Virginia 100K qualifying. We got the 73 there, Christian Vargas, who is 21st in points there for Ryan Durrani Incorporated. Not the best of seasons for him so far, but one race could turn that around, as we saw last time out with Cole Raymond at Circuit of the Americas. Jumped 13 positions in the point standings. Of course, we're still very early on in the season, so every race victory that you get is definitely going to have a large effect because everyone's still kind of close to each other in the point standings. The further we go into the season, heck, by the time we get to the Indianapolis 250, we'll already be halfway through the season. So, we'll be kind of spread out in the point standings once we get to that race. Of course, once we get to that race, no one's thinking about the championship. They're thinking about winning that Indianapolis 250. And hey, it won't be long now. I think very soon we'll be opening up the owners' signups for the Indy 250 only rides, and I plan on bringing back the Indy 250 logo contest again. We used to do that a lot back in the day. Gonna do it again this year. See what you guys come up with for the 10th running of the Indianapolis 250 on Memorial Day weekend here in 2023. Here comes Christian Vargas and Landon Smith Jr. They're going to hit one right after another here. And Vargas in the 73 going to start his fast lap. He's going to maximize 166 there in the turn at number 1. Minimum of 123 into the corner. Landon Smith Jr. going to start his lap right here. As we focus on Christian Vargas here for just a split second. Pretty solid time there through the exit of turn 4. 17.830. So an 8.30 for Vargas. Here comes Landon Smith Jr. coming around. Minimizes at 127. And he's going to go to a 17.831. Just a notch below Vargas there. How about that? Right in the same group as well. So that will be good for 4th and 5th for these guys. Let's get on to the next group here at Richmond. All right, our 9th group of the night here. And of course, it will be a night race tomorrow. I know this race last year was a day race. I'm going to do this one under the lights for 2023. This is always a fun race here at Richmond. You got Pikes Peak and Richmond, kind of the two short track type racetracks that we go to, but they're both very different from one another. This one is such a high-paced track. It's pretty fun. We got John Andrews and Ace Garcia here in this group. And John Andrews almost won at COTA 2 weeks ago. Got wrecked out by Caleb Rose. And he probably wouldn't have won the race, actually, but he lost a lot of ground in the point standings. Comes into this race 5th in the points. So a good season regardless for John Andrews. Ace Garcia, unfortunately, cannot say the same as he's 22nd in points coming into this race. But Garcia has one of the best average starting positions of the season at a 6.75. That's tied with Aaron Abel for 2nd, only behind our points leader, Chris Reynolds. The fascinating thing for Chris Reynolds is he doesn't have the best average finishing position. We'll get to him, of course, at the end of the night for qualifying, but quite a few guys. As a matter of fact, everyone 2nd through 6th in the point standings have a better average finishing position this season than Chris Reynolds. So that's the difference between the IndyCar Series and the Cup Series. Is a lot more weight for winning races, and of course Chris Reynolds has won twice this season in just 4 races. But he's only got a 2-point lead on Aaron Abel, who's had an excellent season there for NS Racing. Here comes Ace Garcia. And get out there. That last session there with Vargas and Smith Jr. was very fascinating. They were off by 1/1000th of a second. And a lot of those times have been in that 7.8, 7.9 range. And then there's Trey Smith with a 7.5. Ace Garcia maximizes at 166. So this could get a little dicey here because he's far enough ahead. He's far enough ahead. Thankfully, we've not really had an issue. I think Eric Drew may be the only one that actually benefited from it. We'll see what Ace Garcia clocks in as. He's going to go to a 17.846. Solid time there. Good enough for 6th at the moment. Here's John Andrews on his fast time, and that was in fact an 8.46 there for Ace Garcia. John Andrews across the line, gonna go 17.862. So they're just all on each other here tonight, except if your name is Trey Smith and you got a 5.38 on your name. How about that? Let's go ahead, get to the next group here at Richmond Raceway. Here we go for our next set of drivers, Angel Olvera and Lona. Olvera coming into this race 23rd in points, has yet to get a top 10 this season. And then Lona there in the 00. Here comes Angel Olvera. He's going to come around here, looking to beat that 17.538 and get the pole here for Virginia 100K. Pretty solid time right here, I think, for Angel Olvera. It's a bit slower into the corner, but I think he was able to carry a lot more speed, and a lot of speed there through 3 and 4 across the line. 17.771. That's good enough for third. Here's Lona. I think she's coming around to start her fast lap, and that was a 7.71 officially there for Olvera. Lona here in the 00, trying to have something to say about that time. Possibly get this extra bonus point towards the championship for the pole. We'll have to see what he can pull off. Pretty solid through the exit there. 17.929 for Lona and Dog Pound Incorporated. We got ourselves 3 groups left. Let's see who wins the pole for the Virginia 100K. Here we go for the 11th group of the night. Avery Alford and Justin Zajdel. Zajdel third in the points standings coming into this race, only 5 points behind Chris Reynolds in the championship. Alford has kind of been on the other end of that. Only 39 total points on the season coming into this race. Here comes Justin Zajdel, number 23. Bradshaw Autosport has had a pretty solid season with their 2 drivers, and Samudio and Justin Zajdel. Of course, Zajdel won the opening race of the season, the California 100 at Auto Club, so I know he's excited to get out on this oval track. Alford is still on the pit lane, so we'll focus on Zajdel. A bit slow there, 124 minimum there through turn number 1. We got turns 3 and 4 right here, which is a pretty good measure, and he goes down to 128. Zajdel's going to cross the line. I think it'll be still 17.857. Not too bad there for Zajdel. And at the moment, that'll be good enough for the 9th position. So we'll have to see if he actually, excuse me, yes, 9th position there. He's got a 5.7 in between Cole Raymond and Brad Stover, as you see right there. So waiting for Avery Alford to clock his time in here. And they have 5 minutes to officially start their time, of course, so getting everything prepared, getting ready, make sure they get a good launch off. Every little thing matters, including the launch off the pit lane, because of just how small this racetrack is. You're on your fast lap in 25 seconds, and every little bit leading into that fast lap goes into how well your lap is, including driving here on the apron out onto the racing surface. So we'll see what Avery Alford can do. Of course, getting the gears correct as well. Getting up to speed, every little bit matters. As Avery Alford in the 13 machine maximizes 166. That's about the average speed. I mean, so many of these guys, I should say, are right on each other in terms of the times here tonight. Avery Alford going to minimize 126. This is going to be similar to Zajdel's time, I do believe. 866. Yep, I was right. Not too far off from Justin Zajdel. That's going to put him in, I believe, the 14th position, with 4 drivers left here in Richmond qualifying. Here we go, penultimate group of the night here in Virginia 100K qualifying. And 2 rookies as well. Aaron Abel in the 97, Roy Ribbleton in the 33. Neither driver has gone the victory lane before, but they're at opposite ends of the point standings coming into this race. Aaron Abel only 2 points behind. I believe he finished runner-up at COTA. It was either him or Eric Drew. I know they were battling near the end of that race there. Aaron Abel, regardless of the fact, had a great run at Circuit of the Americas. And then Roy Ribbleton, on the other hand, one of 4 drivers who has yet to receive a top 10 finish this season. But they're still trying to get to Trey Smith, who is still 0.2 faster. I feel like if there's anyone who's going to get to Trey Smith, it's going to be Chris Reynolds. That's the way it's going to end up working out. And I swear I swear on my life that the ratings are equal for everybody. Hey, Chris Reynolds wrecked out last week, finished dead last at Circuit of the Americas. So hopefully that evens things out a little bit of a handicap there. Aaron Abel still on the pit lane, so we'll focus on Roy Ribbleton. Number 33 here for Dutch Atlantis Racing. And once again, 166 heading into turn number 1. There's been a couple of outliers here in qualifying, but outside of that, everybody's been right on each other here. Pretty solid, though, through turns 3 and 4, and Roy Ribbleton's going to go 7.74, which is good enough currently for the 4th position. So good lap there out of Ribbleton. Here's Aaron Abel coming out onto the racetrack now for his fast lap. And we'll have to see how well he goes across the line there in the number 97. And once again, he barely touched 166 before he had to slow it down to enter the corner. A bit slower for the entry there for the number 97. Coming across here through turns 3 and 4, and we minimize to 130. This should be a solid lap here for Aaron Abel across the line. 7.67, good enough for 3rd. And that'll put Ribbleton in the 5th position. 2 drivers left, Chris Reynolds and Zachary Fitzwater. Then we'll determine the starting lineup here for the Virginia 100K. All right, here we go. The points leader and the driver his last in points. Going to go ahead and lead us off for the last round here. We'll see if anybody can get to Trey Smith. I'm having a good feeling about Trey Smith and winning this pole. Zachary Fitzwater in the 81 there for Dog Pound Incorporated. Chris wrecked out on the first lap at Circuit of the Americas 2 weeks ago. And that did not help his points run. Only 24 total points heading into this race. I'm sure he'd love to more than double that with a possible race victory. A bit slow there, I feel like, through turns 1 and 2, however. We'll see what he minimizes at here. Pretty solid there through 3 and 4. We'll have to see what this ends up turning out. 17.801, which is good enough for the 6th position. So it's still going to be a good starting position regardless for Fitzy. And now we wait on our points leader, Chris Reynolds. He's got 2 top 10s on the year. He's got 2 top 5s on the year. He's got 2 wins on the year. So it's been win or bust for Chris Reynolds this season. Obviously finished dead last at Circuit of the Americas 2 weeks ago after wrecking out in that initial wreck. And he is still the points leader, though, after finishing last at Circuit of the Americas. That's how good of a boost he got from winning at Riverside and Willow Springs the earlier part of the season. But we'll have to see. It's either going to be Reynolds or Trey Smith who wins the pole here for the Virginia 100K. And Trey Smith just obliterated everybody else here tonight with a 5.38. Definitely a solid lap time there out of the Outer Island Motorsports driver. Here we go. Chris Reynolds going to come out onto the racetrack here. And we'll just have to see what he can, in fact, pull off. Minimizing at 124, coming across the line here. At 150, he's going to maximize. He held 166 for quite a while there. Going to minimize at 120, I think 125. Coming around here to complete his fast lap. This is going to be a, I don't know, minimized at 127 there. It's not going to be Trey Smith 7.54. Otter Island locks out the front row here at Richmond. How about that? I swear, I do not make this up. I do not make this up. Trey Smith, though, wins the pole. Let's give our final thoughts here leading into tomorrow's race. All right. Final thoughts here. As we head into tomorrow's 83-lap race, you see the official results for Virginia 100K qualifying. And Outer Island Motorsports locks out the front row. Trey Smith and Chris Reynolds. Now, that does not necessarily translate into good finishes here at Richmond, so that'll be fascinating to see on that front. Eric True and Aaron Abel there in row number 2. We got Angel Olvera and Roy Ribbleton, Zachary Fitzwater, John Stewart, Christian Vargas, Landon Smith Jr., Ace Garcia, Cole Raymond, Justin Zajdel, Brad Stover, Christian Master, John Andrews, Avery Alford, Nicolas Samudio, Thomas Troxell, Caleb Rose, Lona, Noah Clifton, Bradley Bradshaw, Tanner Partin, Jay Knapp, and Logan Williams. Everybody except Jay Knapp and Logan Williams went under 18 seconds here. And with an 83-lap race, it'll go by pretty quick tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time right here on AG, the channel. Looking forward to the Virginia 100K here in the Haas IndyCar Series. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. Congratulations to Trey Smith for winning the pole, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night for the 5th race of the season. I will see you guys later.